Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here. Welcome to episode 7 of my Warframe from Zero playthrough. In the last episode, I asked you guys to leave a bunch of comments asking questions about Warframe, kind of to give me conversation topics for the upcoming episodes of the series, to read out the comment at the start and then talk about it throughout the entire video. But I seen a lot of really basic questions. Throughout the series, we're going to be answering all of those basic questions just as I'm getting things and equipping things and what I'm going to be going for and stuff like that. But what I was really amazed by was the amount of people in the comment section just helping one another out. Keep that up, because that's something that I haven't seen in my comment section before, like just people flocking to one comment to help somebody. I thought that was absolutely insane, and I was super proud of the amount of people that were just going out of their way to help people in the comment section. That was awesome, and I hope that that kind of stays as a consistent thing throughout this series. If somebody is asking a question in the comment section below about something that I did in the video, you know, having you guys jump in there and answer it as best you can, that's great. And then of course, like if it's a super serious topic or maybe something a little bit confusing, we'll talk about it in the next episode, right? But there's a few comments that I picked out that I wanted to talk about in today's video. And the first one was from Sean Noledo, and he basically asked, do I think DE are spreading themselves too thin? Now, before we jump into that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to revise what we're doing in this account today, because this is my third sort of play session in this account. I usually sit down like once every couple days for like an hour or two on this account and see what we got to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at my mods. So I got a flawed streamline, flawed continuity, flawed stretch, cool, redirection of vitality, awesome. They all fit in perfectly, cool. Don't remember whenever I did that. I don't think I actually did that in any of the videos. I think I just logged off after I put those on last time I was on here. We got my Paris. This is the same build. Serration, Stormbringer, Bean of Grenadier, Bean of Corpus. Not the best. Had an ammo drum there. I can do a lot of trading with that. Pressure point. We can equip that now. And I can equip on Fury. Awesome. I can make radiation damage, blast damage, and magnetic damage. That's pretty cool. Versus the Corpus, that magnetic is going to be pretty good. Well, you know, it's alright, but not ideal. That is that. Wait, what about my taxing? Can I throw anything on there? Vacuum. We should probably rank that up. Yeah, I reckon a vacuum is probably a good call. Let's see if we go to the modding section. Vacuum. There we go. Let's see how far we can get this. We can max it out. Let's tone it down a little bit. There we go. Cool. So as our taxing ranks up, I'll rank that up. Just trying to conserve as much endo as possible at the minute, because we want to be upgrading other mods too. Let's see, where is Serration? We don't have that yet. Have we got a regular vitality? We do. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to unequip stuff from my Vault Warframe before we move on with that. Hold on. Let's see. Where's that vitality again? Let's go ahead and throw that on and keep that on there. And then max that out as much as we can. Vitality. Okay. What do we get it up to? That's going to take 1.2k endo. Yeah, okay. So that's a big step down. So basically half in the cost going up in that next rank if we were to go to rank 7. Like, we could do it, but it's going to take another 640 endo. So I just wanted to have this reserve endo to throw on Serration whenever we do get it. I could throw it on Hornet Strike, actually, you know. We could put, like, let's see, 3 ranks in the Hornet Strike, 4 ranks. Yeah, let's do 4 ranks in the Hornet Strike, and then we'll put as much in the Serration as we can whenever we happen to get it. So we do have a flawed Serration, but that's not worth ranking up at the minute. So whenever we go ahead and we throw on a secondary weapon, let's level Aledo then, because I've got that Hornet Strike on. Unequip that. Oh, I can't. Shit. That's a thing. Well, I mean, because we're going to be playing low-level missions anyway, that's totally fine. Should have also put ranks in the pressure point. Like, I want to rank up everything right now. Feels bad. Let's see. Vacuum's equipped. Awesome. So what we need to be doing, if I can recall correctly from the last episode, is we got to get Rubido. And to get Rubido, we want to go to Everest because, I mean, it's an excavation mission. You get a lot of rewards from it. Just makes sense. Good place for farming euros and stuff like that. So we're just going to be chilling on Everest while we talk about the comments that were left on the last video. So I mentioned Sean Naleto, and he was saying, do you think these spread themselves too thin? Because they're doing Melee 3.0, they're doing Railjack, they're doing the next story mission, and maybe another deluxe skin. Do you think that they should just work on one thing to make it as good as they possibly can, and not let things become something like the next Lunaro or the next Conclave or something like that? Now, what I have to say to that is that I think I talked about this in previous episodes of my From Zero Let's Play, where we were talking about how DE has a list of stuff that they have to do, and they just kind of go through this list of stuff that they want to get done, right? So it's not like they always have the community's best interest in mind. They just put together this list of things that need to be done in the game, like a Jupiter tile set rework, or this deluxe skin has to be made, and then they just push it out, right? Kind of like how you would if you were a YouTuber, right? So like if you're a Warframe YouTuber, you probably just go ahead and put together a list of videos that you can make, like, you know, Warframe guides, weapon guides, stuff like that. Ideally, you know, you could just sit and you could make videos on all of those different topics to sort of maximize your viewership and your coverage of the game. So I, in a sense, sort of relate to DE in that way, because I just put together a list of things that I could cover or put up on my YouTube channel as content to serve the people that, you know, consume my content, right? So DE are going for this list of all these different ideas that they have, because keep in mind, not every single piece of content that they put out is going to resonate with every single player of the game. So it's important for them to put out as much stuff as they possibly can, regardless if it matches up with everybody's likings, if you get what I mean by that. So they're just trying to push out as much as they can, and they're going through this list of stuff to do because, I mean, in reality, that's what it is that they have to do. They have to put out a constant stream of content, or else, like, their game is just going to fall off. I would say that the content drought that we have recently is a very, very good lesson? I don't know what the word would be, but just, it's a very good example. That was the word I was looking for. A really good example of that. Where's this other guy? Can't blame my other teammate. Oh, rip, he died. But, yeah, like, they have to put out as much stuff as they possibly can, or else their game is just gonna sink, dude. Like, even if it's just a deluxe skin, it's gonna keep people interested for, like, maybe a week, you know? Like, if they can get people playing their game for a week, that's better than having no people playing their game at all, because if a person is playing, then they're more likely to spend money, and if they're more likely to spend money, then, you know, DE are obviously doing something good, right? So it just makes sense for them to put out whatever they can, and obviously things like deluxe skins and small reworks is what works for them and is what efficient for them currently, right? How that's going to hold up later on in the Warframe's development, I don't know, because DE have kind of set the bar pretty high for themselves with the likes of Plains of Eidolon and the likes of the second Dream update, the new War update, the War Vin update, the Sacrifice update, stuff like that. You know, the better DE get at making stuff, the higher the expectation for the player base is going to be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But what happens then is that it causes DE to completely change up, or it requires DE to completely change up how they go about making content. And that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, right? So again, let's use the YouTuber example. Warframe's content starts to go downhill. You're a Warframe YouTuber. What do? You have to switch it up somehow, and you have to break into a new niche, a new audience. What do? You try Anthem. Anthem flops. Well, you know, you move on to the Division. The Division doesn't hold people as well as you would like it to. Well, now you're SOL. Like, what do? You have to keep on constantly trying new things, or else it's just not going to work. The next big thing in my line of sight is Borderlands 3, of course, but it's such a saturated market already. Everybody has their bets placed on Borderlands 3 that, like, unless you are really tryharding with the Borderlands 3 content creation side of things, then it's going to be really, really difficult for you to break in to that market of content creation, right? So you have to be pumping out Borderlands 3 content as early as possible and as efficiently as possible as well. And this guy's extracting already. Feels bad. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and follow him. Do we get a lot of rebooted from that? Not a lot. Sad about it, dude. 102. But yeah, they have to completely change up how they go about making content. I think that they have this list of things that they want to get done because it's what they're used to, it's what they're comfortable doing, and it is what keeps the company afloat, just putting out these small pieces of content which people digest, and obviously cosmetic stuff like the deluxe skins, etc, etc. We can rank up the match rank too. That's awesome. I gotta go ahead and equip my Paris though. Obviously that's what they're comfortable doing, and that's what keeps the company afloat. So they're gonna keep on doing that until they are sort of forced to change up their tactic. And whenever they're forced to change up their tactic with what they release content wise, they're gonna be forced to change up how they create that content, and they're gonna have to find a way to make whatever new type of content that is working for them. They're gonna have to, you know, sort of reset themselves and figure out the most efficient way to make this new content, which is really holding people's attention. So for me, the content that I would like to see in Warframe right now is cooperative community-based content. Well, I use the term community-based content very, very lightly because I don't want to see events. I hate events. I think events are the biggest waste of time unless they have some sort of impact on the game as a whole. So Plague Star, in a sense, is a good and bad event. So Plague Star, it's like you get your plague part from it, and that's obviously something which is really, really important to you as somebody who is trying to progress through Warframe. But the thing with that is, like, you don't need to get it, but you also want to get it. So it's kind of bullshit that it only comes around like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, even if that. So it's a good and a bad thing, but I would say it's primarily more of a bad thing. I don't know. It's really, really difficult to talk about it because I'm not the person who's sitting at the making the decisions on like what it is that they have to do, you know. I would say as a player who's consuming the content, I want to see more story-based stuff. I want more reasons to play with my buddies, but it's really, really difficult to just throw out an educated opinion on that because I don't work at DE. I don't know what works for them. I don't know their thought process behind, you know, reworking a tile set. Obviously, I would say if you're the creative head of the game, it's just like we want our game to be as pretty as possible. You know, we want our game to be very pristine and flashy, and we want players who jump into this new tile set or whatever, they just say, wow, whenever they do jump into it and be like, this game's free, and this is the level of polish that we're getting. That's something that DE strive for, but it's a good and bad thing. Like, where do you fit that let's rework and make this sort of wow factor rework off an already existing piece of content and then throw it into the game? What a lot of players would turn around and say to that is, like, it should have been there from the get-go. Like, it should have been this awesome from the get-go instead of having to require rework and take up this time and take away the content. So you really can't please everybody, right? You're gonna get people out there who appreciate the fact that they're reworking stuff, and then you're gonna get people out there who are like, well, I don't want a rework, I want actual content to be thrown into my game. It's sort of like working this balance of like, okay, how much do we focus on reworks, and then how much do we focus on actually adding content into the game? But that's an extremely difficult thing to do whenever it comes to game development, because whenever you add one thing, you break another. That's just how coding works, and of course, coding is a big part of game development, so it's not as clear-cut and dry as, oh, just make this new thing forehead, you know? So, are they spreading themselves too thin? I don't know. I have no idea. I do know that there's a bunch of moving parts to this big machine that we call DE that are working as hard as they can to make these fancy animations and make this cool concept art and make a working new Warframe and stuff like that. But, like, would hiring more people fix that? I would say probably not. Like, human error is a thing that definitely does exist, and of course the more people you throw into the pot, the more likely there is a chance that things get messed up, so that could degrade quality. But it's all a bunch of ifs, you know? Like, you don't really know when this guy that's in my team is... He does not understand. Let me see. Can I communicate with him? Hello. Okay, cool. But, yeah, that's my take on it, dude. Like, it's really difficult to comment on if DE are spreading themselves too thin or not, because I would say that they are doing what they know is best for them at this point in time. Of course, what is best for them isn't always necessarily going to be what is best for the person playing, or the group of people playing, or the hardcore player, even a newer player. The newer player is definitely always going to reap benefits from whatever DE adds in, because it's just going to be like, wow, this is a cool new thing. But for the player who's been around for a long time, we want new stuff to play, right? We want new content, we want new grinds, but how do you come up with these cool creative new grinds whenever your time is taken up by reworking a tile set or something, you know? Just gonna work with this guy and sort of help him out, because he went all the way over here. Playing Mag, that's an interesting choice. But yeah, that's really all I can say about it, man. The other question that I got was thoughts on the new player experience. It sucks, but it doesn't suck. Like, it's fun to just kind of dive in head first in the Warframe and have no idea what's going on. I got the Rubico I need. Awesome. We're getting people in this lobby. But at the same time, it sucks in the sense that people rely on wikis, and they rely on YouTubers, and they rely on Twitch streamers and stuff to explain the game to them. And I think that it's where a lot of confusion comes from, because not everybody is always on the same page. And that's going to happen regardless of what type of game you're playing. Like, if you play Overwatch and you jump into a gold match on Overwatch, you know, not everybody is going to be on the same page in there. You're going to get a bunch of people who think that they know what they're doing, playing Tracer and just sipping about the place, and then they die, and then they yell at the healer. But then the healer is going to be like, nah, you know, like, I know exactly what I'm doing. You're the idiot who keeps on running and then dying. So it's like, it's all right. You know, no matter how DE change up the newer player experience, I don't think it's going to change up, you know, how people take this game. Like, jumping in the Warframe, you either know that you're going to like it or you don't like it. That's it. You know, you're either willing to invest the time to learn it and figure things out about it, or you're just not interested. And of course, there's going to be people who have like this middle ground relation with it, where they're like, yeah, you know, it's cool, but I'm not asked to learn everything about it. Like, I don't need to know how beam mods exactly work, or, you know, the exact number that I need to get to in every single Warframe in terms of power strength to sort of maximize the effects of their abilities and stuff like that. You know, not everybody needs that. People are just like, all right, can I jump in here? Can I shoot things? Do my abilities work? If the answer is yes, fun game, cool. And then they get to like match rank 13, 15, 16, and then they're kind of done with the game. And then that's the really sad part, you know? The real issue of Warframe right now is the incentive to continue playing past a certain point. Everybody's threshold for like stopping playing is going to be different. So for me, like, the threshold has only really come up recently. I guess it happens more or less once a year, where we just have this period of having absolutely nothing to do. But for me, it's like whenever there's nothing meaningful to do in the game, you know, like a meaningful grind. Like, I could go on my main account right now and I could grind up the Fortuna Arcanes or the Plains of Eidolon Arcanes and stuff like that. But the thing with that is, I don't need to do that, you know? It's the same problem that we had back whenever raids were first introduced into the game ages ago. Like, you could do raids every single day, but you didn't have to, because, like, what impact are Arcanes, right? Like, why do you need that? Eidolons is a little bit different in the sense that, sure, you get Arcanes from it, but the Arcanes are no longer the big incentive anymore, I would say. The big incentive for you to do Eidolons is the focus if you're a newer player, because having your operator at a decent point is going to drastically change up your enjoyment of this game. Like, being able to just operator dash through and through and through is absolutely so fun. Like, it's amazing. It's one of the coolest mechanics that they ever added into Warframe, I would say, because it's a completely new system, and I wish that they would expand on it more. But, you know, like, I want more reasons to farm focus. I want more reasons to do eidolons. Like, if you just give me a reason to do this content, I will do this content, because I don't think it's bad content. I think it's pretty good content. But, I mean, that opinion is gonna differ from person to person based on their experience. So, like, somebody who has slow internet connection, or somebody who doesn't exactly know how to do eidolons, they're gonna think that eidolons are absolutely terrible and they're a pain in the ass. But, you know, whose fault is that? Is that their fault for not looking up how to do it? Is that their fault for not investing the correct amount of time and money to get a decent bit of hardware? Is it because of the circumstances in real life? There's a lot of different questions that comes up whenever it comes to your overall enjoyment of different pieces of content within Warframe that I've been faced with dealing with a bunch of people on stream and in YouTube comments and stuff like that. That it's a big eye-opener, man. Like, one of my moderators at the minute, like, can't even play the game right now. It's really, really upsetting because they discontinue support for 32-bit, and that's really, really sad, because that basically has the same effect as removing raids from the game does. Like, they're just alienating a part of the player base. It's like, okay, well, you don't have hardware good enough, you can't play our games. Like, okay, well, you don't like anything else on Warframe. You enjoyed raids, you enjoyed playing with your buddies in this game, but now there's no reason to. Like, why would you continue playing the game? That sort of thing. So there's a lot of problems with Warframe, and I did also read a comment, and the guy was like, you know, there's our Surrection mod, Pog. He was like, you talk so much about the bad in this game. I wonder what it is that you actually enjoy. And I enjoy the gameplay. I love that every single weapon on Warframe is unique in its own sense. Like, you say the word Boltor, and you say that it's a fully automatic gun, you immediately think, oh, well, this is a cool gun that shoots bolts, right? Because of the name and the design of it. Like, it's just something completely different that I don't think I ever experienced in gaming, apart from maybe like something like Ratchet and Clank. It's really unique in its own sense, where Warframe is its own universe. It's got its own atmosphere, and, you know, we've got our own, what's the word? I forget the word. Rebecca said it on stream one time. Got our own terminology for things. Like, a cat is a cavat and a dog is a kubro. In that sense, you know, our own culture. That's what it is. We got our own Warframe culture. Its culture, its community has its own Warframe culture, and that's what I think I admire the most about Warframe, is what DE has made in terms of a game and in terms of a community. Of course, there's going to be a few shit stains, like on the forums and on Reddit and on Twitch streams and on YouTube and stuff like that, but, like, sure, those people are really harsh and they're huge assholes and whatnot, but, like, that doesn't undermine or undersell the amount of effort and time that has went into Warframe, not only as a product, but only as a service and as a community, fan service and stuff. Like, everything, dude. Like, that's what I admire about Warframe, and that's why I keep playing it. Just the sense that, like, DE put in effort. They might not always have our best interest at heart 24/7. Like, right now, like, why would I play Warframe whenever there's nothing to do? But, like, the game's amazing, and it's definitely unique. Like, whatever free-to-play game out there has extremely smooth, optimized gameplay. It's, with this level of polish and such consumer-friendly, I would say consumer-friendly, focus towards monetization. Let's go ahead and extract, because we can solo extract. You don't really get it anywhere else. Like, the only ever free-to-play game that I really play is Smite. But Smite is lootbox heaven, I would say. Lootbox heaven? I wouldn't say lootbox heaven. Skinbox heaven. It kind of is lootboxes. I don't know, but you don't really get lootboxes in Warframe, right? We don't have that. We have, you see the thing, you go get the thing, and you can play with the thing and enjoy using the thing. It's weird, man. I don't know. So I admire the amount of effort and quality and time that goes into Warframe. and that's why I continue to play it. Of course, there's gonna be times where I'm like, I don't know why you did this, I don't know why you did that, but being able to critique this game as openly as I do, and then knowing that there's at least one person who works at DE listening, that is what really makes me have faith that this game is always going to go, maybe not in the right direction, but towards the right direction, you know? They're not always going to hit it with 100% accuracy all the time, but they're at least going to try, you know? What I'm super optimistic but also afraid of is Railjack. Like, I hope that Railjack is omega good, and I hope that everybody enjoys it and there's a lot of stuff to do. But man, like with Arcwing, the state that released in, everybody was excited for that, but it turned out to be a total flop. So I don't want it to be another Arcwing. Whenever Arcwing came out, the community response was, this is just total crap. Like, and that was a real down point in Warframe for me, because I was just getting into it and I seen all the Warframe YouTubers talking about it. Well, the Warframe YouTuber that I watched, Calypso, and they were just saying like, oh, this is just bad, you know. And then they inevitably quit. I was like, okay, well, who do I watch now? And then I kind of took a break from a Warframe, and then I came back, and then now I'm a YouTuber, you know. So I don't know. It's a funny cycle. But I've been along long enough to know that DE are at least going to try and work their way towards the right direction, and that's what I respect, you know, and that's why I stick around. So with all that being said, this has been a super long episode. I appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys are cool. If you liked it, go ahead, hit that like button below, and if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.